So now we're going to deal with 3D. Okay.
Yes.
With regard to 3D, you know there is an x-axis, the y-axis, and a z-axis. Okay, z-axis. If it's coming outside, it's positive z-axis. So going inside, away from your nose, it's negative z-axis. So this is negative x-axis, this is negative y-axis. So we will not talk about this negative axis now. Let's keep it as x, y, and z. This is the Cartesian plane. In the case of vector, it's I, j, and k. So in 3D, this is what is 3 dimension in space. Okay, and you know at any point you'll have x, y, and z coordinates and all that. You learnt it in vectors
Yes,
itself.
ma'am.
So now in 3D, the first thing is equation of a line. Equation of a line containing a point which is parallel to a given vector b vector. Equation of a line passing through a point which is a vector which is parallel to a given vector b vector. Again, equation of a line which is passing through a point a vector. What is an a vector? It may be x1, y1, z1, x1i plus y1j plus z1k, like that. So this point in Cartesian coordinate is x1, y1 and z1. Is parallel to another vector b vector. What is in b vector? There could be an a. No, let's not keep it. This is x1, y1, z1. There you call it as a, b and c. ai plus bj, ai plus bj plus ck. This b is the total vector. This b is the dr. Okay, don't get confused. So again, an equation of a line passing through a point which is a vector parallel to a given vector b vector. This point a itself is x1, y1, z1. This point, this line direction. Parallel means direction. The direction is ai plus bj plus ck. You should be very, very clear with this. Consider an arbitrary vector r vector. Some random arbitrary vector whose points are x, position vectors x, y and z. R vector is always some random vector. It's not x1, y1, z1, which is x, y and z. Because any equation should necessarily have an x, y and z. So again I'm telling you, equation of a line passing through a point which is a vector parallel to a given vector b vector. What is inside a vector is a point which is x1, y1, z1. What is inside the direction b vector is ai plus bj plus ck, or in other words a, b and c, or what is inside it. Okay. Consider an arbitrary vector r vector, so, and that will always be x, y and z. You know this line is parallel to this line.
Yes.
So a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2, which we learned it in vectors, parallel condition. So what is this line? This line itself is x2 minus x1 into I. So it's x minus x1 into I plus y minus y1 into j plus z minus z1 into k is this line here. Because you know 2 points, you can get the line vector. And this line are parallel to each other. So a1 by a2, what is a1 here is x minus x1. What is a2 here? A. So x minus x1 by a is equal to y minus y1 by b is equal to z minus z1 by c is equal to lambda is the equation of the line in 3D in Cartesian format. By Cartesian you have x, y and z. Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this you should be very clear. So from this, supposing this is Cartesian format, can you see the a, b, c which is the denominator comes from the parallel vector b vector.
Yes, ma'am.
What is in here? This x1, y1, z1 is from the point. That clarity you should have. So then therefore when you say, you see my actions, x minus x1 by a is up.
Yes, ma'am.
But whatever we are writing it in the denominator. Y minus y1 by b is equal to z minus z1 by c is equal to lambda is the Cartesian format. Supposing they ask you this in vector form, take only one, which is x minus x1 by a is equal to lambda. What is x? X is from this r vector. So this is r vector. X1 is actually a vector. And this a is from the b vector is equal to lambda. So r vector therefore is b into lambda, and a can go that side. A vector plus lambda times b vector. So this is the vector format. R vector is the position vector is equal to point vector plus lambda times direction vector.
Yes, madam.
So when you learn it itself, R vector is equal to A vector, which is the point vector, plus lambda times B vector, which is the direction vector. When you learn A, you should think of the point. When you learn B vector, you should think of the direction. Understand and write it. This is the condition. When you got how you got it, I've told you. Okay. So I'm deleting this. This is not required.
Yes.
So therefore, there are two formats of equation of a line. What is that? Equation of a line passing through a point. The point is A vector parallel to another vector B vector. The A vector has got x1, y1, z1. The B vector has got ai plus bj plus ck. Consider an arbitrary point x, y, z. Just join this and get a line vector x minus x1, y minus y1, z minus z1. They are parallel with the B vector. So x minus x1 by A is equal to y minus y1 by B is equal to z minus z1 by C is equal to lambda. And a vector format is R vector is equal to A vector plus lambda times B vector. A vector is the point vector plus lambda times B vector is the direction vector. This is one equation of line passing through a point whose direction is known.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is equation of a line passing through 2 points. Okay, so this is itself A vector, this itself becomes B vector. No, direct B vector here is not a direction, it's a point. Supposing this is x1, y1 and z1. This is x2, y2 and z2. Consider an arbitrary vector R vector which is x, y, z. You know this line is parallel to this line
Yes. Yes.
in itself.
Yes.
So what is this vector is x minus x1. By bigger lines direction ratio is x2 minus x1. X minus x1 by x2 minus x1 is equal to y minus y1 by y2 minus y1 is equal to z minus z1 by z2 minus z1 is equal to lambda.
Yes. Yes.
So this is the Cartesian form. Here you have 2 points. A and B are 2 points. So therefore the arbitrary point is x, y, z. This line is parallel to this line, the same parallel lines only. So x minus x1 by x2 minus x1. Y minus y1 by y2 minus y1 is equal to z minus z1 by z2 minus z1 is equal to lambda. You have clearly understood.
Yes, ma'am.
So this x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1 can also be treated as the directions. Like what was there in the previous one as A, B and C, here is become the direction. You can keep it like that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So then therefore this is also the same format. R vector is equal to A vector plus lambda times B vector. Where B vector here is not this point vector. It is actually x2 minus x1 which is B vector minus A vector. That is what is going to give you your direction, correct? So A vector plus lambda times B vector minus A vector instead of direction, because the direction is given by B minus A. Are you clear? So or generally what is the denominator you'll copy simply as a vector form.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So R vector is equal to A vector plus lambda times B vector minus A vector, or simply after writing the Cartesian format, what is the denominator, you can copy it here. Very
Yes,
simple.
ma'am.
So this is the second equation of the line. So the third one is they might give you 2 lines, they'll ask you angle between the 2 lines.
Yes, ma'am.
So supposing there's one line, any line in a 3D will always pass through a point and will be parallel to a vector.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's consider this as A1 and this as B1. A point and a direction is a must in a 3D. Okay. There is another line which is passing through a point A2 and parallel to a given vector B2. So you know there are 2 lines.
Yes, ma'am.
They're asking you to find the angle between the 2 vectors, angle between the 2 lines, correct? There is no point in looking at a point here, because angle you won't get using point. When you know directions, you can find the angle between 2 directions to get the angle. No point in looking at the point to find the angle. All you need is only the directions B1 and B2. And you know the formula cos theta is B1 vector dot B2 vector by magnitude of B1 into magnitude of B2. This direction dot direction by magnitude of this direction in this vector dot that vector, you know. So only the direction is important to find the angle between the 2 vectors. So supposing they give it in the Cartesian form, it will be x minus 1 by 2 is equal to y minus 2 by 3 is equal to z minus 4 by 5 is equal to lambda. This equation may be x minus 2 by 3 is equal to y minus 4 by 5 is equal to z minus 6 by 7 is equal to mu. Both of them cannot be lambda. One has to be lambda, other has to be mu. So then how to find the angle between them? You're not bothered, you only want the angle, this B1 and you only want this B2. There's no point in looking at these points. These are the points of A vector. What you need is only what is in the denominator which gives you the direction. So take this, it's 2i plus 3j plus 5k is your B1 vector. 3i plus 5j plus 7k is my B2 vector, and put it here and you find the angle between the 2 vectors. Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes in the question if you see, they'll give minus x minus 7 plus minus 7 plus x by minus 2 is equal to y plus 3 by 4 is equal to z. That's all. You know the format has to be x minus x1 by a is equal to y minus y1 by b is equal to z minus z1 by c.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, this is not in the right format. You have to switch it. So you have to write it as x minus 7 by minus 2. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is in the right format, but it's y minus y1. So y1 here is minus 3. That is why it's become.
Plus 3.
So that identification that y1 is minus 3 here. And what about this? This is z minus z1 by c, no? But there's 0.
0.
And in the place of c there is 1. That is the reason it is simply z.
Yes.
Like that you should be able to study those lines and understand what is it. Therefore the point is 0 and the direction here is 1. Like that you should be able to study. Okay. So now, so whenever it's not in the right format, you should convert. Supposing they give you 7 minus x by minus 2. You know it has to be x minus x1. So you will write minus of x minus 7 and take that minus and divide it by this minus here. So it will be x minus x1 by a. You understand? Like that you should comfortably convert it into the right format. Are you clear?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Supposing in this introduction itself I'll tell you, it's x minus 1 by 2 is equal to x minus 3 by 4 is equal to, supposing they give you, they give a colon instead of equal to. Instead of equal to, they give you colon and say z is equal to 2.
2
The
minus
colon,
0 by 1.
you have to make it equal to. So first you will think z minus 2 is equal to 0. If z minus 2 is equal to 0, what should have been in the denominator is 0. That's when it will become 0. Correct?
Yes.
So you can just write this off and write it as is equal to z minus 2 by 0. So when they put a colon and write z is equal to 2, you know z minus 2 is equal to 0. So this 0 can come down. So this format is like this. You should understand. When they give a colon, you should convert it into equal to and put a lambda so that it gets in the right format.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes it can also be x minus 1 by 2 is equal to y minus 3 by 4 colon z is equal to 0. Which means z minus 0 by 0. So you should write z is equal to, you can put and write z minus 0 by 0 is equal to lambda. These are the simple things that you should understand, how to switch and get it in the right format, how to identify what is the point. Okay, these are the things you should know.
Yes.
So next is angle between two skew lines. Two skew lines. What are skew lines? What are skew lines? Skew lines is, in a 3D, there is a room, no? The floor is one plane, wall is another plane. Do you think these two will ever meet? A line on the wall and the line on the floor will never meet. Such is called skew lines. Skew lines are those which are lying in two different planes. So supposing they ask you the angle between two skew lines. Supposing the line is like this, x minus x1 by a is equal to y minus y1 by b, or x minus 1 by 2 is equal to y minus 3 by 4 is equal to z minus 4 by 5 is equal to lambda is one line. X minus 3 by 5 is equal to, say some examples there, y minus 4 by 3 is equal to z minus 6 by 2 is equal to mu. They are asking you to see the angle. These are two skew lines they have given. Okay, so you know that how to find the angle between them. First write it in vector form. The vector form of this line is r vector is equal to a vector, which is the point vector, which is first line. R vector is equal to 1i plus 3j plus 4k plus lambda times what is the denominator? 2i plus 4j plus 5k. A vector plus lambda times b vector. First line I have converted into vector format. Let me convert the second line into vector format. Tell me r vector is equal to the point vector 3i plus 4j plus 6k plus mu times b vector is what is the denominator? 5i plus 3j plus 2k. You got this two lines equation in vector format. From Cartesian you know how to convert it into vector now. After converting into vector format, the formula for the distance between two skew lines will be a2 minus a1 dot b1 cross b2 by magnitude of b1 cross b2. a2 minus a1 means this is a1, this is A2. This is B1, this is B2. A2 minus A1, subtract it.
Okay.
B1 cross B2, cross these two.
Yes.
And put it here and do a dot product. Actually, you do B1 cross B2 and find the magnitude of B1 cross B2, divide it, and then put a dot product and put the whole magnitude to get the distance. Are you clear?
Yes, yes.
So what is the formula? A2 minus A1 dot B1 cross B2 by magnitude of B1 cross B2. You understand?
Yes.
Very clear?
Yes.
So with this, you will be able to do one whole exercise which I'll send it across to you now. Okay?